Shalom, shalom. The title of this lesson is The Power of the Tongue. Words can kill more than a sword. I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect. Lord willing as a whole, those that are scattered four corners of the earth, that you continue in sound doctrine and in the same spirit. Shalom to the Akwath, the sisters of this faith. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shemashai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Right? This lesson is truly circled around and inspired by Sirach, the 28th chapter, in verse 18. First, I'm going to read in the KJV for you. It says, many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not so many as have fallen by the tongue. In the GNT, more people have died as a result of loose talk than were ever killed by swords. Okay? So this verse teaches us that the tongue and our words can cause more destruction than physical violence. Swords can wound the flesh, but wicked words destroy souls, reputation, and relationships. Right? Israel must learn to rule the tongue, for Yahweh and Yahushai will judge every idle word. So the first point, the tongue has power over life and death. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, the 18th chapter. And let's read verse 21. It says, I started at 20. It says, a man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. So, King, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Right? So words can bring forth blessings or curses. A righteous man uses his tongue to edify and heal, but an evil man uses it to destroy. The Most High hears every word, whether spoken in public or in secret. Now, I just had to show that. Let me back that up with Sirach, the 42nd chapter, in verse 18. It says, he seeketh out the deep in the heart and considereth their crafty devices. For Yahweh Shemashai knoweth all that may be known, and he beholdeth the signs of the world. He declareth the things that are past and for to come, and revealeth the steps of hidden things. No thought escapeth him, neither any word is hidden from him. Right? So your conversations, your thoughts, your doings, it's not hid from him. It doesn't matter, man or woman. Right? Whatever your objective is, the Lord knows. If you're being sneaky, clever with somebody else, if I'm clever with a brother, if a brother got a wife and she clever, right? If a brother unrighteously being unclever, right? The Lord knows what you're doing, you know? And of course, if it's hindrance to the ministry or make blame to the ministry, if it shines a dark light on you, the Lord will have it be revealed, right? And most of the time, if it's revealed, it's in an ugly way. You know, most likely public. Even more if one of the men of the Lord get a hold of it, now you become not a punching bag, but now you're held accountable to rebuke. You know, and when Yahweh Shemashai has the men of the Lord rebuking you, right? This is something serious. This is why we listen to lessons. Sometimes lessons can fit your own shoe, you know. You can't fit Yahushai's shoe, but sometimes lessons can fit your shoe size. You know, you got to put that shoe on and become better. So let's go to Psalms 57 in verse 4. It says, my soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men whose teeth are spears and arrows, in their tongue a sharp sword. Right? So when we look at this, David compares the wicked sword to weapons, piercing like swords and arrows, slander, gossip, and deceit cause deep wounds that cannot easily heal. This aligns with Sirach 28 and 18. The tongue's sword can kill more than steel, right? Through the spirit, when his brothers was speaking those little things or being sarcastic to Joseph, and Joseph loved them. But yes, his dreams got the best of him, right? I mean, for them, and it caused them to want to put him in the hole and then sell him. But in the end, even Joseph, when we go to Genesis, he said basically it could have seemed bad, but it was really for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's doing, right? Because at the end, it was for good. Because later on, the land of Canaan was going to go through a famine. All the known lands was going to go through a famine, and all the people was buying, grain from Egypt. Okay, so it was meant to happen to fulfill what was said in Genesis 15 about his descendants going to a land that's not theirs, and that was spoken to Abraham. So the Lord spoke to him about the actual descendants that would get that land. And this is another thing for, you brothers and sisters to understand, that the scriptures is always pointed to the children of Israel. But let's keep on going. We're going to go to a point of Yahushua warned of idle words. Every time when we hear a lesson and we feel like, oh, we need to do better in this, that should be your sign to do better, right? And you got the lesson to do better. We make a lot of excuses, but when you're doing good, there's no excuses. Or when you're pursuing to do good. Especially when we start to strive in it, we always say, I need to do better. But if you ain't saying you need to do better, then maybe you ain't probably applied it yet. Matthew 12:36-37. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. This is even more why it's good to have few words. But even if few words that might hurt or it can cause you to sin, it's the same with the thought. One time I was thinking in a negative sense because of my daughter, something she did, and I allowed my mind to have the furthest imagination. And for me, it's probably not the biggest plague, but for me at work, it was where all my devices wasn't working. I'm on the same phone plan as my brother. His phone is working fine. Both of my iPhones started to glitch. None of the Bible apps, anything I was learning a word from, YouTube, both of my Bible apps on my phone was not working. And I had to sit there like, maybe I should never let that mindset go that far. I went to the bathroom and Yahweh Shemashai allowed me to pray. When I prayed, said my pieces, amen, walked and tried to change that thought, not think on that thought, let that thought go. When I came back to my phone and that thought was so gone and not secured in my mind, all my devices worked. So it kind of made me think I was wrong for thinking what I was thinking, and I was able to correct it by admitting that and acknowledging that to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And it made me feel more better as soon as I know my phone started working. And I started saying, hey, what if my daughter is of the elect? Just giving, a little testimony. So every careless word will be judged. The mouth reveals the heart. If we speak lies, hatred, or deceit, it shows corruption within. Yahushua taught that our words can justify or condemn us before Yahweh. The next point we're going to go into, controlling the tongue, shows spiritual maturity, right? And a lot of us might see that type of growth. And that's not, oh, yippee, yay, yay. No, the Lord sees something in you. That's why you want to continue that walk, right? This is James chapter 3, verse 5-8. It says, even so, the tongue as a little member and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. In the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell for every kind of beast and of birds and of serpents and of things in the sea is timid and have been timid of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil full of deadly poison. So as James compares the tongue to a spark that starts a forest fire, unchecked speech, rumors, anger, pride can burn down entire households or congregations. Those who rule their tongues show they are guided by the Spirit. And hey, it just said congregations. Yahweh Shema Shai separated one west to where it had to be to make the truth blossom better, right? Because you were able to learn from those. Just like old time, we were able to learn. None of us can gang, let's all come together and be on one accord. And we have to allow Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And when we see we're already in it, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai made a division when it came to congregations, right? Different umbrellas. But yes, brothers teach the law the same. But when you start to get more further into dark sayings, parables, history, or prophecies, things start to change and you might see lies, or some people might not understand, so they pass by those, or things are interchangeable. Brothers probably didn't sharpen it and just kept it the same way as it was. And since knowledge increased, you should be able to understand even more, but it's really all through the Rakak Wadash that moves men, okay? And it's the same how a tongue separated households, especially when you look like in the world and then coming in this truth where a lot of us have different agendas, okay? But I don't want to ponder on that too long, but it's a good point. Another point is the wise use their words to heal. Let's go to Proverbs, the 12th chapter. We're going to go to verse 18. Let's go to start at 17. It says, he that speaketh truth showeth forth righteousness, but a false witness deceit. There is that speaketh like the piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise heal. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but a moment. Okay? So while the wicked use words to wound, the wise use words to heal, comfort, and build up. That's what edify means, right? Something built or built up. A righteous Israelite speaks life, truth, instruction. The tongue can destroy, but in the spirit, it can restore, right? So, especially for you men that hold a position of teaching, regardless of the title, apostle, prophet, evangelist, if you are teaching this word, you want to basically definitely watch what you bring forth out your mouth, because you want to bring forth truth. When we look at the word truth, it means something correct, something honest. So when we pertain ourselves to Genesis, the second Maccabees, Genesis to Revelation, you are studying to get the truth. When you have that truth, sound doctrine, 100% truth, you're going to teach it, let alone sharpen your sword with other brothers, and even, of course, be under men that have experience in this truth, in this walk, in the same formation as a student, as studying, okay? Humble yourself. Because again, a righteous Israelite speaks life, truth, and instruction, okay? The next point we want to get to is the law teaches against slander and evil speech. Let's go to Leviticus, the 19th chapter, in verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So this law forbids gossip and false witnessing. Again, gossip. A lot of women catch themselves gossiping, right? And men do it too. right? You don't want to catch yourself gossiping about other people's matter if they're not around, or gossiping about something and you ain't gonna bring it to somebody else's face. It's not good to gossip. We're not little kids, especially like if we was to look at this truth how it is, it's men and it's women that's gossiping about the true men of the Lord. Instead of, like, say if a brother has a problem with a doctrine and he's mumbling, oh yeah, the way he teach this, and then it's brothers in certain congregations that don't agree with certain things, and they had conversations with other brothers that might agree with them, and they still in that camp. You want to bring it to the forefront, because in the army, who's going to really trust you if you can't bring information, something that don't seem right or something that do seem right? Or if you came across something, you should be telling your head, because that's what soldiers do. Oh, hey, Captain, I know you were asleep, but I see an army coming past the line, and there's no guards up there. Or you just gonna keep it a secret and not say something. For bad and for good, you wanna abstain from gossip and false witnessing. Israel is called to be holy, set apart, not to spread strife, slander among brethren, divides the nation, and shows a lack of the fear of Yahweh, right? Women, y'all should definitely take heed, because a lot of you women do this, literally. And if you catch yourself in those things, you should be like, hey, yo, we should stop. Let's go talk to the head, or let's go talk to the head of the camp, right? Or, I mean, if it's a woman that's married, you should be talking to your head. Plain. You shouldn't be going to another sister that's not in your house or another brother that's not in your house, because now you're taking away the order in 1 Corinthians 11. Gotcha. And even brothers, if it's something that's going on in a congregation, bring it to your head, by Yahweh Shem Al Shai. For brothers like us, over here in Buffalo, if a matter comes up, we hit up Yarmayan. And of course, things even get to Zion, to that head bracket, especially if it's dealing with a breakdown, or if a brother that they dealt with and he not right, take it up with the head, right? If brothers get removed and you building with a brother, you got to know what the heck is going on, so you're not caught off with some a brother going off and then he teaches something off and then you laboring with him, and then it's gonna have you want to bring it to the head, right? Because again, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai sees us. The next point we're gonna go into is how when you go into because we can go into multiple points in Apocrypha where it goes into the same point of warning. But let's go to Sirach, the 28th chapter, and let's read verse 13. Curse the whisperer and the double-tongued, for such have destroyed many that were at peace. Right? Because some people be having a different agenda. So a whisperer, one who spreads secrets or gossip, destroys peace. Division in Israel often begins with the tongue, not the sword. The Most High hates a lying tongue. Proverbs, the 6th chapter, verse 16 to 19. And if you a gossiper or a talebearer, this is why some of y'all are hit with certain thorns in your side. Health, mind, right? You don't grow fast in the spirit, or you're not even growing in the spirit. It might take you every 2 months, every 4 months, every year. You want to feel like you're growing every day, because every day you grow is getting closer to the Lord and being in a line. But if it's taking you 4 months to grow and you ain't analyzing it, that is scary, okay? The next point is the tongue reflects the heart. Let's go to Luke, the 6th chapter. Because to be an Israelite is to be one inwardly. So when you go to Luke 6 and 45, it says, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart, his mind, bringeth forth that which is good. And an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. Our speech shows who we truly are. If the spirit of Yahushua dwells in us, our words will be righteous. But if envy, hatred, or pride rule, our tongue will expose it. Okay? The next point. A righteous tongue is a sign of wisdom. A righteous tongue is a sign of wisdom, right? And a wise person looks at a matter, analyze it, right? From the good perspective of this side or that side, just like what Solomon did with the two women that had sons, but one of them woke up and their son was dead. And so Solomon, with that wisdom, said, hey, cut him in half. And the woman that was the mother, said, no, give it to her. Through that discernment, he knew who the real mother was. Because humbly, that mother is not going to want to see that child cut in half. And that mother is going to want that child to be with the other woman. But this Sirach 19:16, there is one that slippeth in his speech, but not from his heart. Who is he that have not offended with his tongue? All men stumble with words, but the wise repent quickly and bridle their tongue. Controlling speech is part of spiritual growth. The goal is to speak as the oracle of Yahweh. 1 Peter chapter 4:11. So again, when we look at Sirach 28:18, it teaches that the tongue is more deadlier than a sword. It can destroy lives, reputation, and souls. The Most High commands his people to use their mouth for righteousness, truth, and peace, not strife, not destruction. We must speak life, not death, for the tongue reveals the heart, and every word will be judged. Okay? So, Psalms 141 in verse 3. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Keep the door of my lips. Okay? So, Lord willing, this is edifying, straight to the point. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, help me bridle my tongue, speak wisdom, and let my words glorify you and edify my brothers and sisters. And even for you women, let Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai help you bridle your tongue and speak wisdom, and let your words glorify him and edify the children and single sisters. In the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakab the water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai for this edifying lesson, and the water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai for allowing me to come across this lesson by means of a brother in GMS that was showing a video of a gang member saying, ain't nobody gonna pull up to me. I ain't gonna be caught slacking. And at the end of the video, he got caught slacking, and he's in the spirit world. And he even said in the video, if you live by the sword, you must die by the sword. And that actually happened. And this is a verse that he showed in the video. It wasn't a lesson, it was more like a video. And this is a verse that he put in the video. And I'm like, wow, this hit. So even more, watch your tongue. Make sure that you speaking life into people, patience, repentance, right? Things that are of righteousness, right? And things that's going to restore the heart and the mind. And of course, this doesn't take away from righteous judgment, right? Righteous judgment, that's supposed to make you put the fear in the Lord, right? To make you pursue to be worthy continuously until Yahushua arrives. But on a daily, men and women, the Lord knows your secret thoughts, your words, what you whispering, what you murmuring, what you gossiping over with this sister or gossiping over that brother. If it's going to affect them, like if you was to tell them and it was to make them angry or feel this way and then you felt this whole way or whatever it is, it can be ugly. So it's better to bring those things to attention so it doesn't bring forth sin upon yourself, because the Lord is recording. Don't forget that. So again, all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. A mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit, sound doctrine. Lord willing, y'all can continue to endure and be sincere. Shalom to the Aquaf, the sisters of this faith. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shemar Shai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not of faith. With that, shalom, shalom, abba, abba.